Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after a tough 6-4 Rangers loss at the hands of the Padres. This was a winnable game for Texas. It is unfortunate that they let it slip away. We're going to get into all of the details, the highlights, the lowlights, the scoring, the box score review. We're going to get into everything here in just a little bit. First of all, here at Right On Rangers, y'all know we cover pretty much everything sports, NBA, MLB, NFL mainly. But during baseball season, we talk a lot of Texas Rangers, putting a big emphasis on really all the teams we love from the great state of Texas. And we absolutely will be covering the Rangers all baseball season. Coming at you live after most post game, rain or shine, win or loss, we're here and we're going to make it happen even when we absolutely do not feel like getting on. And I'll tell you what, I think everybody sometimes after these frustrating losses just needs a minute. I mean, losses like tonight, you're up 5-3 going into the late innings. It's just tough. Really, really tough. Hope the Rangers are able to rebound, win the third game of this series before Tampa Bay comes to town. That is the hope. My goodness. This was a game that the Rangers let slip away. I really, really wish that they could have gotten a little bit of a stronger performance from Dane Dunning in the middle relief. We're going to get into that. Offense kind of once again fails to tack on. We're going to talk Rangers offense and everything else. But thank you for joining us, whether you're live with us now or whether you're watching on the replay. Appreciate you choosing Right On Rangers for your Texas Rangers and MLB baseball content. A lot of different options out there. Thanks for being with us. Again, however you are watching. Checking some comments right now. What's up? Glad to have some Rangers fans on YouTube hanging out. Appreciate you. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and we are going to get things rolling here. Give me one sec here. I'm going to bring in some of our people from TikTok here. Hopefully they'll be with us here in a second. What's up, everybody? Think we got everything situated at this point. So let's go ahead and begin. So first of all, we had the Rangers coming back after getting out to an early 2-0 deficit. Jon Gray pitching today for the Rangers. Wouldn't say Jon Gray had his sharpest stuff on the heels of a pretty bad start in Baltimore. You probably remember Jon Gray got absolutely shelled last weekend in Baltimore. Really thought he would come back with the stronger game. You might remember when he pitched against the New York Mets a couple weeks ago. It was kind of a similar result, and there was like maybe that possibility that he was tipping pitches. Then he came back against Kansas City and pitched an absolute gem. So I was kind of halfway wondering if maybe Jon Gray would do the same thing tonight, come back, pitch phenomenally against the Padres, a team that he had a really good ERA career-wise against coming into this. Now, I know the Padres team has changed a little bit over the years, but Jon Gray pitching in the NL West for Colorado for many years faced the Padres numerous times. And I think career ERA was like 2.99 against the Padres coming into this. And again, you take it with a grain of salt. It's a little bit of a different team in 2024, but I do think as a pitcher, you gain some confidence against certain teams, regardless of the lineup changes and the personnel changes here and there. So I did really think Jon Gray was going to come out sharper tonight. It wasn't meant to be. Jon Gray allows 9 base runners in 4 innings pitched. It just was not a sharp outing for him. 3 earned runs. I mean, that's not terrible, but gave up a home run tonight. Walked 2. Did not get a ton of swing and misses tonight. Only 2 strikeouts. Jon Gray was just not on his A game tonight, and it's hard when you don't get a positive outing from your starting pitcher. I mean, look, let's be real. The Rangers are due to bail out some starting pitchers. 100% they are. I mean, the starting pitching has just got terrible run support for most of the year. Andrew Heaney comes to mind. There have been some tough losses for Jon Gray as well. You know, Jon Gray should be allowed to have a bad outing. This wasn't Baltimore bad, like over the weekend when he was getting, 3 homers hit off him. But Jon Gray should be able to have a stat line like this and still get a win occasionally. It wasn't his sharpest outing, but it's unfortunate. Once again, the Rangers offense just can't add on late. You get out to 4 runs in 4 innings, right bottom of the 4th. Rangers pushed the lead to 4-2, and they never scored again after that. That has been the Texas Rangers almost all season long. Get out to a nice early lead, 4-2, score some early runs, and then do absolutely nothing the rest of the game to tack on late. And I don't know what you want to call it. Is it a lack of clutchness? Right? Are the Rangers just 7th, 8th, 9th inning in those clutch situations? Just there's some kind of block there. I don't know. I'm sure there's some advanced stats on it. I'm sure they're out there, but it just seems like anytime the Rangers get out to an early lead, if the bullpen or if the starting pitching isn't able to hold it, they're not going to be coming back late. In fact, we talked about this on a fan page that I interact with all the time, Texas Rangers fans only on Facebook. We actually went through when the Rangers trail after the 6th inning, 7th inning and beyond, they've only won like 2 games out of 30 something. I mean, it's very, very bad when the Rangers are trailing in the 7th inning or beyond. The chances of them coming back this season, obviously they're capable of coming back, but this season, there's just been no comeback in this team. They're down late, you pretty much can slate in a loss. And look, that's just the fact, that's just the reality. I'm not saying that just to be negative. They literally are like 2-32 when they trail after 7 innings. The comebacks just haven't been there. And you know what? Last year, I feel like they could get down 4 or 5 runs and you felt confident they were going to come back. Now, technically, the Rangers come back from a 2-0 deficit today, but that was in the 3rd inning. Padres tack on in the 5th, 6th, 7th. The dreaded 7th inning once again comes back to bite the Rangers. The Rangers have the worst run differential in Major League Baseball in the 7th inning. They got beat 2-0 in the 7th inning today. Just not pretty. And again, this was a game the Rangers should have won. Mazer, the starting pitcher for San Diego, got pretty much shelled today. I mean, 4 earned runs in 4 innings, 7 hits, didn't walk anybody, didn't give up any home runs. But they got to Mazer today. So this was a game that you really needed to take. Michael King, one of the Padres' best pitchers, is going tomorrow. This was a game you wanted to have. And then you go into tomorrow's game, hopeful to get a sweep, but not too worried about it if you don't. You got to win tomorrow. You got to win tomorrow. You can't go into that Rays series having to go 3-0 and sweep the Rays in order for it to be a good homestand. You win 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Look, I guess I'll take 3-3, but the Rangers can't afford to go 3-3 in homestands. Not when you're 7-8 games out of a playoff spot. You've got to start going 2 out of 3 every series. You've got to start going 2 out of 3. So the Rangers, they need to get this game tomorrow. It's going to be a tough ask. Now, I think tomorrow, Michael King, he's not unhittable, but he's been very, very good. And he's able to get the swing and miss. The Rangers have struggled with that. They had 13 strikeouts tonight. So my hope is tomorrow we can get a win and get past Michael King and hopefully head into the Rays series with a little bit of momentum. But tonight, disappointing night. We have to call it like it is. The Rangers should have and needed to win this game. That way tomorrow, you just take pressure off. If you lose, it's not the end of the world if you've already won the series. If you win, it's icing on the cake. You get the sweep. Look, I'm not saying you ever go into a game with less of an edge. The Rangers are going to go out regardless of win or loss tonight and give it their best trying to win tomorrow's game. But it sure is a lot less pressure when you can go into the 3rd and final game of a series and you've already won it. You can play a little more free and easy. It's not as big of a deal. And if you drop the game, you still won 2 out of 3. Now tomorrow, and we're going to get into tomorrow's matchup, Scherzer is pitching. Welcome sign. Scherzer has been on in his first 2 starts back from the injury list. I'm hopeful that he can continue to give us what he's been contributing since coming off the IL and making his season debut. So Max Scherzer going for the Rangers tomorrow. So throw in, I would say, one of our 2 best pitchers out there at the moment. Hopefully Mad Max can get the job done, give us a quality start, and the bats can show up. So Rangers rubber match tomorrow, and looks like still, I believe, let me check this out here, day game tomorrow, 1:35 Texas time start. So 11:35 out here in Vegas for me. So we got a little midweek daytime baseball, and then the Rangers will open up a 3-game set with the Rays on Friday. Let's go ahead and let's put a bow on this game, though. There's some things that I think are worth talking about. There's some things that are worth forgetting about. But let's talk this through. We talked about the 7th inning. We talked about the Rangers' struggles in the 7th. Let's go up and down the lineup here. Corey Seager, by the way, late addition. They released the lineup earlier in the afternoon. Seager was not in the lineup at that time, but they added him late. Bochy said that he was going to check in with Seager closer to game time. Clearly, things went well for Corey before the game, working out, taking swings, all that good stuff. And he was inserted into the lineup. And Seager went 1 for 4 tonight with an RBI double. So instant contribution from Siegs. You got to be happy with what you got from him after, 3-4 days off? Marcus Semien, still struggling. 0 for 5 tonight. Did put the ball in play every single time. Did score a run. Believe he reached on like a fielder's choice or something like that. But Simi, 0 for 5 tonight. And that man, he needs the All-Star break more than anybody. Unfortunately, he doesn't really get a break because he is one of the Rangers' only representatives in the All-Star game. So Simi could really use, I think, a little 3-4 day vacation. It's unfortunate that he has to play. It's like unfortunate and fortunate, right? Y'all know what I'm saying. I would love to see Marcus Semien play in an All-Star game. I'd also like to see him stop going 0 for 4 and 0 for 5 every night. That's pretty much what he's doing right now. The last 15 games for Simi, hitting 094. Last 7 games, hitting 063. Last 30 games, hitting 195. It's just not good right now, y'all. It's not good for Marcus Semien. He needs some days off, but he's not going to get them. And we've got some big series coming up. We got a big series out in LA against a division rival, a division foe in the Angels out in Anaheim. We've got a big series against the Astros right before the All-Star break. The Rays are not a slouch team either. It is absolutely going to be a vital next, week and a half for the Rangers in terms of not only their playoff hopes, but what they're going to be doing at the deadline. These next 2 weeks are going to determine what the Rangers do at the trade deadline. And my hope was that they could win probably, 67% of their games the next 2 weeks. They're 1-1 right now. My hope is that they can go 4-2 this week, win 3 out of the next 4 games. Maybe that's a tall order, but that is what the Rangers need to do. They need to win 3 out of the next 4 games. They need to win tomorrow's game, take 2 out of 3 against the Padres, and they need to take 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Then you go into the Angels series and the Astros series, and you have an opportunity to gain some ground on the Stros. You have an opportunity to create some distance between yourselves and the Angels. Angels are closer to the Rangers than you think in the division right now, battling for that 3rd place spot. So big game tomorrow. We're going to go through it. Let's put a wrap on this game, though, and we'll try and get through it quickly. Never loved dwelling on the losses, y'all. But let's keep going. Josh Smith, 1 for 4 with an RBI. 2 strikeouts tonight for Josh. Doley, 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Langford 1 for 3 with the walk. That guy continues to get on base. Wyatt Langford, 262 average on the year. He just continues to stay hot and contribute. Love him in the 5 spot right now. Nate Lowe, 2 for 4. Hard to come down on Nate Lowe. Multi-hit night. He did have 2 strikeouts. One came in, I think, kind of a semi-big spot. So, yeah, Nate Lowe did have 1 runner left in scoring position with 2 outs. Unfortunate, but you know what? Again, multi-hit game for him. Hard to complain. Nate Lowe average up to 273. Very respectable. Jonah Heim, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Had a great double. Jankowski, 1 for 2 on the night. Derek Hill came in, struck out twice. Unfortunate that he was not able to come through in his opportunities. Leote, 1 for 3. We'll take that from Leote Taveras, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Hard to complain when Leote is getting on base 33% of the time from the 9 spot. Absolutely. So beyond that, let's talk bullpen. Leclerc gave up a run that ultimately ended up tying the ball game, I believe. He went an inning and a third, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit. Latz is credited with the blown save tonight. He came in, got 1 out, gave up 2 hits. Dunning came in, believe got out of trouble there, bailing out Latz. But ultimately, Dane Dunning gave up the home run in the top of the 7th. David Peralta, 2-run bomb. Ultimately ended up being the game-winning RBI in this one. Dane Dunning, not the sharpest tonight. Unfortunately, you would like to see Dane Dunning come in and be able to give you some shutdown innings out of the bullpen. He does have that kind of stuff. You'd think velocity can get ramped up a little bit. But Dane Dunning, the ERA is up to 4.71 on the year. It feels like he's been better than 4.71 ERA, but it is what it is. I mean, 4.71 is not ideal and definitely not ideal out of the bullpen. Hopefully, Dane Dunning can start riding the ship. I know it's tough when you ask a starter to go to the pen and then give you multiple innings. Anytime you're going multiple innings, it's hard to give up 0 runs. I mean, out of the bullpen, I absolutely think no runs in 1 inning is reasonable. You start getting into a 2nd and 3rd inning, it gets dicey. So Dunning, a little bit of a victim of that tonight. You know, he went out for a 3rd inning home run given up in that 3rd inning, I believe, of pitching for him. It's tough. He had 3 strikeouts, so he was getting some swings and misses, but you need zeros coming out of the bullpen from Dane Dunning. And Dane Dunning credited with the loss tonight. Kirby Yates came in, got a little bit of work in the top of the 9th inning, struck out the side. Been a while since we'd seen him pitch. I don't know. I think I'm actually glad that, Alex, you brought this up. My next question to everybody was going to be what you would have rather seen in the bullpen. And here the comment is for any of y'all that are just listening. Would have loved to see Robertson instead of Dunning. Now, let's set the scene a little bit, shall we? So you're in the top of the 7th at that point. Dane Dunning had, I believe, already gone a couple of innings, if I'm not mistaken. Had already gone a couple of innings at that point. And, you know, if you go Robertson in the 7th, kind of tough. You're asking him probably to go multi-innings. And look, maybe the argument could be made Robertson hasn't really pitched of late. He could go multiple innings. I definitely think Bochy, Maddox, the strategy was get through the 7th with Dunning, hand it over to Robertson and Yates, and it just didn't happen. So, Alex, I'm kind of with you, bud. I kind of would have liked to have seen Robertson maybe go multi-innings tonight. I definitely thought about it live during the game, but I definitely realized they're trying to bridge that gap. It's not ideal to have guys go multiple innings. You want 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy, if at all possible. And I wouldn't say tonight, you know, let me strike that because I was going to say, like, tonight I don't know if the desperation was there from the Rangers, but it should be. So that's why I say I was just about to say there wasn't a lot of desperation there tonight. There should have been. So maybe Robertson multi innings should have been the play. I think that's very reasonable. That being said, I get the logic, but I think I like the desperation move better. Let's have Robertson and Yates go multi innings. We've got an opportunity. The game's tied at that point. You would like to have those guys come in with the lead if at all possible, but I'm all for your two best relievers pitching in a tie game, especially when you're at home, right? When you're at home, I think it's very reasonable to have your closer take the ninth inning so you have a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth in a tie ball game. So maybe some desperation lacking tonight. Hey, let's try and save Robertson and Yates. We got a busy week coming up, and they do. They've got 6 straight games. They've got Thursday, tomorrow. They've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 straight games. It's actually 9 straight games because you go out to Anaheim on Monday. Monday's not an off day, so Bochy's thinking 9 straight games. And then Thursday, I believe, is an off day before the Astros series starts on Friday. So I know what the mentality is, but I agree. I would have liked to have seen multi-innings from Robertson and Yates. I know, though, that the excuse from the coaching staff is going to be wanted to save them for the rest of the games that they have coming up. I can almost guarantee if anybody were to ask Bochy that question, that's what he's going to say. He's going to say, we got a lot of games coming up. Didn't want those guys to go multiple innings. But Alex, I wouldn't have minded it. I appreciate the comment. And what's up, everybody else on YouTube? Appreciate you. Hey, I can actually go with the Cardinals. Y'all know I grew up for first about 9-10 years of my life in St. Louis. Been to many Cardinals games. I was cheering in 2011 for the Rangers. 100% wanted the Rangers to get their first World Series in 2011. We don't need to get into the 2011 World Series. It just makes me mad. But as long as the Cardinals are not playing the Rangers, I don't mind seeing them do well. Childhood team, 100% all Rangers at this point in my life, but Cardinals always have a special place. Now let's keep things rolling. We talked about the rest of the bullpen. I think we should go ahead and preview the matchup for tomorrow and then start getting out of here. On nights like tonight, it's better not to dwell. Let's flush it and let's get on to the next one. Obviously, I'll talk anything you guys want to talk about. If you got questions, comments, put them in the chat. Be more than happy to go through them as I'm going through tomorrow's matchup and as we wrap up the show. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at each pitcher. Michael King, Max Scherzer, and let's see how they face off against each lineup. See what the career numbers are, and then we'll also do a little AL West roundup, and we'll look at the AL West standings and wild card standings. So tomorrow, Scherzer, King. King has a 3.61 ERA. He's 6-5 on the season. And Michael King, last 7 games. We'll do last 7, last 3. Last 7 games. Michael King, 2.56 ERA. So King has been pitching well of late. Last 3 games, he did get shelled against Milwaukee. 6 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. But is coming off a very good start against Boston at Fenway Park. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. So Michael King, I would say in a groove right now. Not going to be easy facing off against him. He is a guy that can get strikeouts. He has struck out, in 99 innings pitched, has struck out 115 batters. So better than a strikeout an inning. So Michael King is going to be tough tomorrow on the Rangers lineup. Let's see what those career numbers are, though. So we've got Doley 2 for 4 with a bomb against King in his career. And we've got Nate Lowe 1 for 3. Seager 0 for 1. Marcus Semien 3 for 9. And really nobody else. We got like a few guys with 1 at bat, like Josh Smith is 0 for 1. Heim is 0 for 1 against King. So not a huge sample size. Semien has seen him the most. And Semien is 3 for 9 in his career. Doley has seen him the second most, and he is 2 for 4 once again with the bomb and 2 RBI. Now on the other side, Scherzer. Arise is 2 for 3 against Scherzer. Cronenworth, 0 for 17 against Scherzer in his career. 0 for 17 Cronenworth against Scherzer. There you go. Wow. It's not often you see those kinds of numbers. So glad we'll hopefully have the upper hand. Hopefully it's not going to work the other way and Cronenworth is just due off Scherzer and has a huge game. But I like 0 for 17. I'll take that. Higashioka is 2 for 6 with a home run against Scherzer. Kim is 2 for 8. Manny is 182 average and 55 at bats. So he's seen a lot of Scherzer. He does have 4 home runs, but that average at 182 and 55 at bats. Peralta looks like 6 for 24, 2 home runs. Profar, 214 average with a home run. Solano, 1 for 5. Wade, 1 for 3. So by and large, Scherzer has dominated this lineup. There are some guys that have taken him deep, but by and large, the averages are all pretty low. So perhaps we're getting a favorable matchup tomorrow with Scherzer. That is the hope. But we'll see. Michael King is going to be tough. Could be a little bit of a pitcher's duel tomorrow. Perhaps runs will be a little bit hard to come by. But you know how baseball goes. Just when you think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, it ends up being an 11-9 ball game. So who knows? But it would appear like we're in for a little bit of a pitcher's duel tomorrow based on the 2 guys that are throwing. Rangers need tomorrow. They need to get a win. You don't want to have to sweep the Rays in order to have a good homestand. 3-3 homestand is not good. We just got to be honest. At this point in the season, a 3-3 homestand is not going to cut it. You got to go 4-2. So win tomorrow, then you give yourself an opportunity to go 2-1 against the Rays. Hopefully, 4-2 homestand. We will take that all day long. 3-3, not the end of the world, not the worst thing ever, but not ideal. When the Rangers need to be winning games, 7-8 games out of a playoff spot, looking at the trade deadline, figuring out if they're going to be buyers, sellers, or just stand pat. So would really like to see the Rangers over the next 2 weeks finish strong before that All-Star break. Marcus Semien, man, do I hope he has a good game tomorrow. He has hit King well in the past, but Marcus Semien, we got to get that guy going. That just keeps standing out to me in my mind. Can we get Marcus Semien going? If we can get him going, I really think good things are going to happen. But Marcus Semien at this point has just not been good over the past month and change. We have got to get that guy back to his usual self. Right now, it is just not going well for Marcus Semien, and he gets no days off. He'll be doing that All-Star game here in a couple of weeks too. Oh, what's up, Frankie? Just saw your comment, bud. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate the support. Thank you for tuning in. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's start looking at the AL West, and then we are going to close things up for the night. So around the AL West tonight, Rangers obviously drop a half game back of the Mariners, Astros, but we'll see if they maintain based on the scores around the league. So Angels are down 5-0 against the A's in Oakland. We've got top of the ninth for that one. So it looks like the A's are going to be holding on in that game. Other than that, we have the Astros beating the Blue Jays, so they will gain a full game on the Rangers today. Astros in second place. They are now 44-42 on the season, 2 games over 500. We have, looks like, where are the Mariners at? Where are you at? Mariners losing to the Orioles, 4-1. Top of the 7th inning. So we'll take that. We'll take a Mariners loss, maintaining our position at this point. That is the AL West roundup. Now let's look at the standings. So we've got Mariners leading the Stros by 2.5 games. Rangers 7.5 games. They would bump back up to 7 games with the Mariners loss. Angels 2.5 games behind. Looks like the A's are 16 out and about 8.5 behind the Rangers. So Rangers are 8 games out of a playoff spot for wild card. So they're actually closer to the division title right now than they are to a wild card spot. AL is going to be an absolute logjam for that 6th spot, for that wild card spot. There's a lot of good teams in the AL right now lobbying for position. You've got the Royals, you've got the Twins, who are not in first place in the AL Central. Guardians are 53-31. The Tigers are neck and neck with the Rangers right now. The Blue Jays are neck and neck with the Rangers right now, and they're in last place in the AL East. The Blue Jays are in last place in the AL East and have an identical record to the Rangers. They are tied with the Rangers right now for a wild card spot. And of course, you got the Red Sox, you got the Yankees, you got the Rays all ahead of the Rangers for a wild card spot. It's going to be tough, y'all. Like I said, the Rangers got to start winning ball games. Got to start winning some ball games here. So that is our AL West roundup and our look at the AL West standings. Let's look at MLB headlines around the league. And as I mentioned earlier, if y'all have any comments, questions, anything you want to talk about, put it in the comments. We'll get to it as we close up our show today. So we've got Chris Sale throwing a gem today. I believe that was against San Francisco in Atlanta. Braves win 3-1. Chris Sale just totally an absolute rebirth for him in Atlanta. I mean, that guy looks like the guy that came up with the White Sox that was just unhittable at times. So their question is, could he start the All-Star game? And I don't see why not. I'd be interested to see his numbers. I haven't looked at Chris Sale's numbers in a while. I'm going to do that right now. Chris Sale, 2.71 ERA, 11-3 record. Like I said, this is the Chris Sale of old right now, pitching for the Braves. My goodness, he could start the All-Star game. We've got some trade talk going on. Still a little bit early for that, in my opinion. I mean, we'll do it here as Rangers fans, but still a little early, I think, to really lock down who's going to be available on the trade market. Peralta for the Padres gets on the front page, hitting the game-winning home run in the 7th inning off Dane Dunning. Astros beating the Blue Jays. Reds hanging on to beat the Yankees in Bronx. Let's see. Brewers swing trade for starter. Who did the Brewers get? They got Savali. Aaron Savali. A trade with the Rays for infield prospect Gregory Barrios. So Savali, I think we faced him earlier this season when we went to Tampa Bay, if I'm not mistaken. What is Savali throwing right now? Let's see what his stats are. 5.07 ERA. All right, meh. I'm sure he'll maybe go to Milwaukee and do a little bit better than a 5.04 ERA, but I don't know. That trade's not very exciting if you ask me. And then for the Nationals, they just brought up their top prospect, James Wood, and looks like he had another great game tonight. He is 3 for 10 on the season. It looks like tonight he went 2 for 3 with a walk and an RBI, so on base 3 times. James Wood, top prospect for the Nationals, coming up, having a big game. Believe that the Nationals got the win today against the Mets, who are doing really well. The Nationals are only 6 games under 500. The Nationals have a better record than the Rangers do right now. That's pretty crazy. I mean, again, I don't look at a ton of other teams around the league. Y'all know I'm pretty locked in on Rangers baseball. It's not often I do a full-scale look around the league. I can't believe that the Nationals have a better record than the Rangers right now. That hurts a little bit to say out loud. It really does. Let me see. The futures game scouting report here. The Rangers are going to have a few guys, looks like. Let me look through and get the names out to you guys really quick if I can. Let me see here. I'll have to do it this way. Good old Google search. Texas Rangers futures game prospects. Let's see who we got coming up. I had it in my head the other day, but I'm blanking a little bit. Walcott, number one prospect, shortstop. He's going to be in that. Teodo, I believe, pitcher. And then Winston Santos, the number 15 prospect for the Rangers. So we got two pitchers, and we got Sebastian Walcott, number one Rangers prospect, number 73 prospect in baseball per MLB pipeline. Those guys are going to be in the MLB Futures game, which is a couple of days before the All-Star game. I think it's a day or two before the Home Run Derby. So I'll be watching Walcott. I know he's got a lot of hype right now in the Rangers system. Hopefully Teodo and Santos will get a chance to pitch as well. So hopefully while they get a little bit of time to shine in their home, well, hopefully future home stadium, that's pretty fun. Hopefully they will do well, and the Rangers will have a bright future, especially when it comes to the pitching. I am really hopeful that eventually the Rangers will be able to call up a bona fide ace. I don't know if you're going to ever get a Paul Skeens type talent. Those are like generational talents. But I would take just a guy that is a number two starter, a number one starter. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Paul Skeens level dude, but I would love to see the Rangers start turning out some pitching talent from the farm system. Thought maybe Jack Leiter was going to be that guy. I know Kumar Rocker is doing some rehab right now. Could he be the guy? We'll see what happens. But right now, a couple of other things before we wrap up. I know we talked about Tyler Mahle. He had a little rehab start. I think he pitched a couple of innings, didn't give up any runs. So pretty solid effort from him. Cody Bradford's going to be coming back within the next couple of weeks. I believe he'll be pitching out of the bullpen. So the bullpen gets a little bit better with some of these starters coming back. You'd imagine another guy probably goes to the bullpen when we get Mahle back. Don't know who it's going to be. We'll see what happens. So right now, you've got Scherzer, you've got Evo, you've got Andrew Heaney, you've got Jon Gray, obviously. And then I think that fifth spot's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. Could the Rangers maybe go to a little bit of a six-man rotation at some point? I think yes. Give guys a little bit of a break. Now, if you got to win games, you got to win games. It's hard to do a six-man rotation when you need to win baseball games. You can kind of afford to do that when you have a division lead, when you're in a playoff spot. When you're out of a playoff spot, you kind of need your best guys going every fifth day. So we'll see what the Rangers do as more guys come back from the injured list in the starting rotation and just in the pitching staff in general. I know I'm curious, but I'm also excited to get some of these guys back. I think it's just a big morale boost for the team. Hopefully Josh Young, man, we can get this wrist soreness thing figured out. Really disappointing that he is being held out again. You can't control some things, but it's just disappointing. I think everybody kind of got hyped up for Young's return when he went on that rehab stint. And to have him totally shut down right now, it's frustrating. But it happens, especially when you're coming off a pretty big surgery. I think I read the other day that fracture was like in 7 different places. My goodness. I mean, I know that every wrist injury is different, but that seems just wild to me. 7 different breaks, 7 different fractures in that wrist. I hope I heard that right, but kind of makes sense why maybe he's still a little bit sore. There's still some adjustments being made there. I hope we can get Josh Young back sooner rather than later. I don't know if he's going to be back before the All-Star break, though. My guess would be they're probably quietly looking to maybe get him back in the fold after the All-Star break. I would be really surprised to see Josh Young before the All-Star break against the Rays, Angels, or Astros. I'm not seeing it, but I hope that he can get better, and I hope that I'm wrong, and maybe he can come back for one of those last 2 series. That'd be great. But with Josh Young and how young he is, you don't want to rush anything. No reason to bring him back, re-injure something, aggravate something. Just let the guy rest. Let the guy get better. Hopefully he can come back and be a big contributor for us after the All-Star break. Right now, the Rangers got to win some baseball games, though, and it starts tomorrow, 1:35 Texas time, 11:35 for me out here in Vegas. I always like day baseball. I know I always say that, but it kind of breaks up the day. I don't know, if you're at work, you can follow along with the game. I don't know, kind of nice. I like it. So we'll probably be coming to you a little bit earlier than usual. I'll still try and go live pretty immediately after the game. So some of y'all might have to watch on the replay if you can join live. Probably what if it starts at 1:35 Texas time, probably like 4:30 Texas time. It'll be 2:30 my time ish out here. So hope to see y'all then. If you are watching right now, whether you're live or on the replay, and you haven't followed or subscribed yet, would really appreciate the support. You can stay up to date with all of our latest and greatest content that we put out. Get notified every time we go live so you don't miss out on an opportunity to talk Rangers baseball. Hopefully a Rangers win tomorrow. And additionally, if you know anybody that loves baseball, loves MLB, loves Rangers baseball, would really appreciate you telling them about the channel, about the account. Send them one of our videos. That would mean a lot to us. Well, all right, y'all. I'm going to check comments one more time. Looks like we are good to go. Thank you so much for joining in. Again, whether you're live or on the replay, I appreciate you. And as I always say to end every show, God bless. Go Rangers. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday night. We look forward to seeing you at some point later on this week. If not, have a great weekend. And let's get some Rangers W's, y'all. Have